only see the computer.
All right, good morning. I'll declare a quorum and call the meeting to order, and we have a very special guest this morning. Mr. Cravey, are you out there? Come on up. From Howard Payne University, he's going to pray for us this morning.
Let's pray. Father God, we thank you so much for this day. We thank you for this city. Thank you for this town of Brownwood, Lord, and the blessing it's been in my life and hopefully everyone's life in this room. Lord, we pray that everything that is said in this room honors you and glorifies your name. Lord, I pray. Thank you for your son. We pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. All right, do we have any, I was looking to see if we have any other dignitaries or elected officials out. I don't see any. So that was item number 3. Item number 4 is citizens' comments. I do have 2 citizens signed up to speak. So I guess first I'll call Kenneth Adams. Come on up, Kenneth.
Good morning.
And again, you have, try to keep it to 3 minutes.
I can do that.
It's not an exact science, but we'll try and give you a warning.
Okay.
When you get close. All right, go ahead, sir.
I appreciate what you guys are doing. I appreciate you looking at all the facts of the solar project. I appreciate you trying to find the truth and the way everything that actually is working out in this project. Other than that, we have a concern of the way that voting is being taken place. Our opposition has hired people in the Walmart parking lots, soliciting votes, no votes, and paying them to do that. We have concern over whether that is how those votes are going to be making sure that there are votes that are people in the county or people that are landowners. When you have people that's just getting paid to do it, they don't have any moral obligation to get them right. And we have concerns about that and want to express that to the county. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth. Next is John. John, come on up.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is John Daigle. I'm a taxpayer and I reside in Precinct 3. And I would remind the court, there's been a previous request from the public to the Commissioners Court to investigate Wayne Shaw related to possible conflict of interest. For the record, if the Commissioners Court decides to move forward on any vote related to the solar project in Brown County prior to resolving the aforementioned issue, it would be prudent and lawful to exclude Wayne Shaw from that vote. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That's the last that I have to sign up to speak this morning. There's 2. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to pass these around to you. Lisa, are you out there? Come on up, Lisa. I'm going to skip to item number 7B, which is Lisa Dick, our director of our Brownwood and Brown County Health Department. Her time is always very valuable, so she's going to give us a briefing this morning on where we stand and how the 3,000 doses that we are so happy to have gotten, how many you were able to give out the other day.
Sure. I'm just going to kind of start with where we are on COVID cases. And so we have, as of Friday, we had 4,209 positive COVID cases over the past little over a year. And we've had 133 deaths. That is 1 additional death this past week, and that was of a 60-year-old male that was not in a nursing home. Last week, we had 2 days of vaccination clinics. One of them was a follow-up second dose of Moderna. And then the last half of our day were first or single dose Johnson & Johnson. And then the next day was a single dose Johnson & Johnson. So the first day we gave around 600 doses of the Johnson & Johnson, and then the next day, we gave about 750 doses of Johnson & Johnson. So we're correct, the hospital did receive 3,000 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Tentatively this Thursday, we're still looking at weather, but we're making a decision this morning, Thursday, and our goal was to give between 1,000 and 1,200 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And so we will begin taking appointments from the list that the health department has and the hospital have worked together on getting. We still have remaining people on that, and you can still sign up. If you want to go to brownwoodtexas.gov/health, then you would find our link. It's also on the Facebook page for the health department and for the city. We'd be glad to have you sign up and put your paperwork in advance. It makes the line go smoother for everyone. We also want to ask that people not show up significantly early to receive your vaccine because it causes a bottleneck whenever we're trying to get everybody in. And so we did experience that on Wednesday. We made some corrections and some trying to make this a little bit smoother for everyone. We don't want anybody to have to wait, but please be prepared to wait if you have to. You can just imagine us trying to get 1,200 people through a line in a day. It is something that can be pretty overwhelming. So be patient with us. We'll try to work through the details and make it as smooth as we can.
So we know what, you're gonna do it 1 day a week?
Last week we did 2 days a
You did
week.
Moderna, second dose, and you said you started?
We
You know,
did,
and again, 1 full day of Johnson & Johnson.
right.
So you're gonna wait a week before you do the next round of Johnson & Johnson?
We will be doing it on Thursday. There are staffing issues and weather issues and just us being able to take a breath to recover from that. So we're trying to get those out as quickly as possible. We did also provide vaccines to school districts on Friday. And that included, we visited Zephyr and Blanket ISDs, and that also included Brownwood ISD. We'll also be looking at the remaining ISDs if they want us to come there and provide vaccines to their staff, then we are available to do that.
Tell me again how many you gave on Thursday?
On Thursday, we did 750. When we started the day, we had 450 appointments. The remaining doses, the 300 people, were added to our schedule that day. And we want to continue to do that, but it makes things run much smoother if we go ahead and max out our appointments to begin with, because that paperwork takes some time, probably 15 minutes added to your wait time. And it makes it just run much smoother if we get those done in advance.
You changed the age groups yet?
So that's a great question. So the state still has age groups of 50 or above that are qualifying for receiving that without any medical condition. It's just an age. So below that, with the Johnson & Johnson, if you're 18 or above, then you may receive the vaccine if you have medical conditions. And that list is pretty broad. It includes things like if you're a type 2 diabetic, if you have any immune compromising disease, and it also has a BMI calculation, so a height to weight ratio on that, and it's not what most of us would think. It's generally what we may think of as more of a normal looking weight. If you need help calculating that, you're welcome to call the health department. But once we open vaccines for that day, we are going to make sure that we give those and not waste them. So we're committed to that, and that's where adding those additional people onto our schedule comes in. So we don't want people to be added in at the last minute, but we're certainly going to take people and not let vaccines go to waste.
Last week you said you were still on 65 and above without a medical condition. Is that where you're still at?
No, we will take 50.
Like 50. Last week you said it was 65.
Right.
But we still got nearly 2,000 vaccines we didn't give out last week. Will they still give us more vaccines? We hadn't distributed that yet.
No, last week was 50.
It was 50 and above last week.
50 and above last week.
Last week, I thought you said.
I may have told you that, so sometimes.
No, she
people
said
are going-
50 last week because I know that's what made me eligible. But they finally reduced it to 50, and so she said 50, and that's why I was got it.
Sure, okay. Alright.
So, and as that changes, there is discussion from the state because, there's a variance in how saturated different areas are, so I know they're trying to equalize that. But yes, we still received an allocation of 400 doses of Moderna this week. So it is not just us getting new doses out, it's also following up with those second doses that we will be doing. We have a 740 dose clinic that was the first dose that we'll be following up within the next couple of weeks with. So this is in addition to what our normal schedule looks like. We do have additional employees that we're staffing to make sure that this happens, and 4 of them started this morning. So last week's clinic was really tight. It takes about 45 people for us to put on a clinic. The health department doesn't have 45 people, so we're very thankful and blessed that the hospital, Howard Payne, Ranger, our medical reserve corps, and our CERT team are assisting us with that. So if you're not signed up with Medical Reserve Corps or the CERT team, but you would like to volunteer to help us, and we would really be thankful if additional people volunteer to help.
I'm not trying to be rude, I know we gave you extra money, but still, I was like, it seems you got that vaccine, efforts to do that as quickly as possible. And
We are trying that.
Sitting on another week seems like a long time.
So this is what happened last week. Whenever we opened for those doses of Johnson & Johnson, we opened it to 1,200 appointments, and that was open for 4 days, and we ended up with 350 appointments made. So if people don't sign up and people don't show up at the clinic, then we can't give vaccines. And it's not because, I don't think it's because our market is saturated, unless many fewer people want the vaccine than what we thought. So I guess the message is we have vaccine, please go ahead and sign up. And we really want you to sign up, but if you can't show up at the clinic or call us at the health department, and we'll get you signed up.
So if you're 50 or above, you can sign up, right?
Yes, if you are 18 and above and you have a medical condition, you can sign up. If you're 18 above and you're overweight, you can sign up.
Will it ever get where you just walk in a clinic and get a shot of it?
Yes, and so that is part of, we're requesting a federal grant that would make it where the commissioners court, the county, the cities that are participating would not have to pay that money, but it would also allow us to work with a lot of our providers and making sure that they were able to receive vaccine, and where you could eventually, just like we do with the flu vaccine, we can walk in and get it.
Are y'all getting the numbers yet from the ones that are being administered by the clinics and the other people? I mean, the pharmacy and the other one around?
Those should be added to our account that we have. And so, and I didn't give that number to y'all, but right now trying to find it on my page, sorry. We have 5,141 people that at least received one vaccine, and we have 2,268 that have received both or they're fully vaccinated. So our estimated number of people that would be eligible for vaccines, so it's actually 16 and above, for Brown County is over 30,000, it's 30,883. So it looks like we are about a sixth of the way there. Yep. And I know that not everyone is gonna be vaccinated, but that kind of gives y'all a picture of where we're at.
I have one last question. Can you tell us where you're at on the home visit vaccination?
So we did have one home visit clinic where the National Guard came in and they gave 100 doses. And so what we want to do is to host another clinic like that, but we want to make sure that we have a list of people that are wanting to get that vaccine. We can't scramble at the last minute to do that. Last time when they came in, we had about 60 or 70 people signed up, and at the last minute, we're trying to locate these individuals. So right now at the health department, we're keeping a list. So if someone needs to be on the list, then call us and we'll put you on there. I know that there are less than 10 people on the list on Friday. We've had some calls from home health, but we haven't received a list from them as of yet. We've requested that. we'll add this to the list, and when it gets to be a little bit bigger than that, then we'll have somebody come in and help us to do that. National Guard again, we'll get with Daryl and we'll make that request. But I saw the resources on doing that were really extensive, the amount of vaccines that were given. So there were 18 guys that came in to do that. They were here for 12 hours and they gave 100 doses. So for me to do that, I want us to be very prepared and make it worth their while to come here.
I thought it was on my mother had one done and there was 4 people
Right.
for one person.
So what they want to do is they have someone that comes to do the paperwork, and then they have a medical person to give the vaccine, and then we provide a local person with them to help make that local person feel a little bit more at ease about someone coming into your home that's not part of our community. And so that's kind of what, it's very labor intensive for us to do that. So we want it to be very organized and to get things done in a timely manner so that we're using our tax dollars most effectively.
Thank you. Again, that was Lisa Dick, item number 8B. I think I said 7B in the beginning. It's now switched to item number 8. So I know a lot of you are here for the public hearing, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. But real quick, I want to do item number 8, C, and D. First is Judy, come on up, Brownlee. And Judy Brownlee from the Child Welfare Board would like us to consider a possible approval to confirm a new member to the board.
Yes.
Good morning, Judy. How are you?
Very well. Okay, we have Angela Hagan today. Angela's been on our board before, but because of work issues, she had to resign about 6 months ago, so she's asked to come back, and we're glad to have her. This is her information. That Angela is a Brownwood native who has attended school at the ISD and is employed at Ron Jackson, Texas Juvenile Justice Department, and the Education Department. She has also worked 20+ years in the medical field, helping patients, which she adores. She is also pursuing a bachelor in criminal justice. Working with youth at the facility has opened her eyes to helping more in many ways. Positive role models are a necessity for these strong youth. She has a daughter working for a local company and a son who is graduating from Tarleton State University with a degree in agribusiness in May of 2021. She's proud of both her children. Angela has been involved in many community projects and groups. She was president of the Lionettes Mother Club. She orchestrated many projects for the group. She played a vital role in the VHS project graduation and also volunteered with the Toys for Kids program. She is also a member of the Ron Jackson EAC, which is Employee Appreciation Committee, where the group organizes special events for employees during the year. Angela assisted with the PAWS program at Ron Jackson, promoting an adoption day to the public at a local establishment, which was successful. Angela enjoys helping others, assisting young people, and giving back to her community. Brownwood is so generous to people when needs are displayed during a difficult time. Angela is proud to call Brownwood her home and able to help others. Very glad that she's asked to join back.
Someone like to make a motion?
Make a motion that we approve Angela step back onto the Child Welfare Board.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carries unanimously. And Judy, you had one other item, 8D, that you would like consideration of possible approval of action for allocation of additional funding. Can you tell us
Yes.
what that's about?
I guess about a month ago, we had asked for additional funding because our funds had been cut the last year, and we had nearly 200 children in state care from Brown County. And so we're kind of experiencing a shortfall. So any additional funding that you can give us would be very much appreciated.
What amount are you looking for?
I think we were cut about 3,000. So I'm thinking that area.
Cut by who, Judy?
I'm sorry,
Cut by who?
about
Reached it.
The county?
The county, yes.
I don't remember that.
Were you cut, or you were doing part of that, part of, part of the money was part of that fund,
From the driver license.
License
Right.
so
registration.
maybe there was just less money in there that you, I
Right,
remember after
exactly.
cutting it, you probably received less from your portion of that money
Right, well, I'm sorry.
that was allocated to y'all, if I recall.
Exactly, and they said that had to do with the COVID.
Because car registrations and stuff.
That should catch back up and catch maybe to other people, so maybe that may catch back up to you.
Let me check and see where that's at.
That should, like you said, it should catch back up because everything's, ends up in this
Is
month.
it
So
automatically?
everybody has to catch everything up by March, in March, right?
Yeah, into April, I think.
So maybe we'll get an additional
Yeah.
funding at that point.
Anyone who hasn't registered or.
Because car registrations have basically stopped.
Right.
And so the governor had given, had set kind of a moratorium on registered cars. So that's about to expire, so they're expecting a flood of new registered cars in April and May.
Do we survive till the end of April and
Yes,
see where we are?
yes. We're hanging in there, but we do appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Hope that resolves the problem, thank you.
All right, so we'll have no action on, item 8D. So item 8E is, Commissioner Worley consider and authorize setting a date of May 10th, 2021 for public hearing, and publication of notice of such hearing in newspaper of general circulation on the creation of a reinvestment zone to be known as the Brown County Reinvestment Zone. Number 1 is at IP Radiant, for purpose of tax abatement to provide economic development within the county and to take up for consideration a tax abatement agreement with IP Radiation LLC. Mr. Ward?
We had received an application from IP Radiant for a tax abatement and a reinvestment zone. And the only way we can answer them is to have a public hearing and put it on the agenda. So therefore, I move that the Commissioners Court of Brown County conduct a public hearing on May 10, 2021, and provide notice as required by law, the creation of a reinvestment zone for purposes of tax abatement to provide economic development to be published in a newspaper of general circulation in accordance with Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code, and to take possible action regarding tax abatement on a capital investment of approximately $297,951,000.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Commissioner Traywick, second. Any further discussion?
Can I just ask a couple of questions?
Can you pull your microphone to you?
Yeah, and I was trying to find the agenda. I don't have a copy of the agenda. Are you, I don't fully understand the date. I know the date, the time and the place of a public hearing. Is it during a regular commissioners court meeting?
Yes.
I think it has to be.
Yes, it does. I thought it was in there. I'm sorry.
Yes, it'll be in our every meeting.
That'll be on the notice that goes to
Okay. And the reason I asked that is, and I didn't know if I heard some discussion, and I didn't know if the court had ever entertained the idea of having some type of public forum type thing outside the normal hours of Commissioners Court. I don't know if that's something that anybody would be interested in.
Excellent idea.
Maybe having an evening.
There's a lot of people that can't come express their opinion during that.
And, and having some type of a forum where discussions could be more than 3 minutes at a time. Maybe having just taking one night, having in a bigger room, giving each side an hour to present their side. So they're not limited to 3 minutes at a time and get cut off about halfway through, and that makes sense. And I was a little bit surprised when I saw in the newspaper, this a date. And I would think that it would be appropriate to do some type of a public forum prior to May the 10th.
That's a very good suggestion. But I think we need to set that date first because there's a timeline in there.
And then the second comment that I would make would be when you send out your notices and then when you set it on the agenda, I would suggest those being separate items, since they are two separate issues.
Hearing and
The creation of the reinvestment zone is certainly separate and apart from consideration of it.
That comes in the next step.
Yeah, that's not part of this one. This is not for or against, this is just.
No, I'm not talking about today's vote. I'm talking about if you read this agenda item, it's all lumped together. It says, consider setting a date for blah, 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 and to take that. And all I'm saying is, in the legal notice that's published in the newspaper, those need to be two separate items. And then on the agenda on May the 10th, those need to be two separate items.
That's what Mr. Bass has
Suggested.
And this is what he suggested.
Perfect.
Any further discussion?
And Mr. Bass is the attorney for the county, did you know? Is that?
Yes, we've hired, the court hired him as a consultant. All right, so we have a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Okay, it's 4 and 1 against. All right, so the motion carries. The rest of it is, the rest of our agenda is our normal business. So I'll go back up to item number 5, which is consideration.
Excuse me, Jeff, we've got one more to go with that.
Oh, go ahead.
Is we have to give notice to any other taxing entity that's involved in that reinvestment zone. So I move that the county provide notice to other taxing jurisdictions in Grant County affected by the proposed reinvestment zone of the intent to create a reinvestment zone and to possibly enter into a tax abatement agreement on terms favorable to Brown County with IP Radian LLC as required by Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code. So that just gives us the I guess, legal ability or opportunity to send out these certified letters.
I agree 100%. But Shane, that's not on the agenda for that second one. Does it need to be? That's what I'm curious. Can it be under item 8E or does it need to be a separate?
I think the agenda item says public hearing and publication of notice.
I think it should be part of the same item, same agenda.
I have no problem with that. I just want to
If
make sure
you wanted to amend your,
well, we've already voted, so can't do that. I don't have a problem with it being under 8E. I just want to make sure our county attorney agrees.
No, there's no problem with that.
Okay, so that's a motion. Is that correct? Do I have a second for Gary's motion?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, and a second. Second, let me read your
Did
motion.
second.
the attorney is still reading.
Would you like to read it again?
She's got a copy.
It's okay. It should have all been in one big motion.
But it's okay to do a second. We've already voted, so we can't amend first.
Yeah, I think they probably could have all been together.
Okay, Okay, so we have a motion and a second, and then again, this is to provide notice, simply to provide notice to the other government entities, correct?
Correct.
Livingston. All right, all in favor? And I do believe we need to provide notice, so I'll vote in favor of that as well. Okay, so, item number, again, the rest of it is just, taking care of normal routine business. Item number 8A, go back up to that, which is Commissioner Skelton. Consideration and possible action on the burn ban.
I've talked to the guys, I've heard, we're in favor of lifting.
I'd like to see it stay in place myself, but y'all want to vote to lift it, that's fine.
You don't think it's gonna put you in a bind? I mean,
Well, I was looking at the forecast, and we've got rain,
Me too.
1% chance today, and then another 38% chance on Wednesday. Thank you for that, by the way. So I would have no problem with it. So we need to, somebody make a motion.
that real, I mean, I don't,
Make a motion to remove
If you want to lift it, that's fine.
Say, Commissioner Traywick's made a motion to lift the burn ban. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All against? One against? All right, so, the rest of it, again, like I said, is routine business. You're all welcome to stay, but it's kind of boring. Item number 5 is consideration and approval of, the minutes from March 15th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
It's also the minutes and the. It's on the same day, so I don't.
It just says, okay, so under minutes, you mean for, you mean the minutes for both? Okay, I
Yeah,
understand.
it's the same.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the 15th. I'll do the 16 minutes.
Except you can go, but that's okay. Because you don't even have to bring up.
Of the workshop. Oh, the minutes period, I understand. She does it as a,
Anyway,
Whatever y'all want to do.
my motion's unanimous, put them both over.
all right, do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carries unanimously.
Stay done.
Steven.
Stephen Wilson,
Mr. Wilson.
All right, while they're doing that, item number 6, consideration and possible approval of any treasurer or auditor's reports. None in? All right, so there'll be no action on item number 6. Item number 7, consideration approval payment of any bills is needed. You want me to take a few minutes, or you already looked at it?
Just a little bit, y'all. Don't hug more.
Daryl, I forgot about you. I'll bring yours up.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills presented by the auditor.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Second is Commissioner Shaw. Any further discussion? All in favor? Gary, can we use your copy? All right, so carries unanimously. Item number 8F, Daryl Johnson, come on up, Daryl, our Emergency Management Coordinator, consideration possible approval of accepting donation of a vehicle to the chaplains program by Global Medical Response. That's lifeguard ambulance. Go ahead, Daryl.
Morning.
So we had to, which I think to sign for the minutes. We seen them?
Oh, yeah, we didn't get that.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Daryl.
We're missing a step here.
Okay, let me kind of give you a little background on this. Dave Fair, chaplain, his medical condition is not allowing him to be here as much as he would like, so he's kind of stepping back a little bit. So Rick Phelps is gonna be stepping up and kind of filling his spot while Dave recuperates. Dave wants to be here. He's all heart and everything, but his body's just not willing right now. This project Dave's been working on, he's been wanting to get some type of vehicle that the chaplains can take out to, say a house fire or any kind of major impact to a family where they'll have a place where they get the family in, out of the weather, counsel them, right, whatever needs they've got. And with COVID, Red Cross is not actively coming out to the scene anymore. So it would also kind of serve a place where we get the family in after a fire or something where they can seek shelter and, we can connect with Red Cross and everything, get their needs taken care of that way. So, the main goal is to have a way for the chaplain program to minister to spiritual needs that might arise. Also, I see a couple of other ways it could be utilized. One would be, like on these severe weather days, where it's extremely hot or cold, our responders, where it's law enforcement, fire, or whatever, out in these scenes get hot, be a place where they can go sit in a cooler, warm spot a few minutes to rehab, when it's not needed for something else. Or it could be used as a mobile command post on the instant where, the ICs, commanders need to get into out of the weather and have a place where they talk. So basically what it is, and I'll pass these pictures around, GMR, who's the parent company of Lifeguard here, Dave's been in contract with them. They've agreed to donate this vehicle. It's a retired ambulance. Looks to be in real good condition. It's 100% donation, so it's no cost to the county.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
No cost to get the vehicle.
right. And I'll get to that.
Okay.
So, no cost to get the vehicle. Any modifications made to it will be made by the chaplain's donation account. So they'll raise the money to do any donations. The only cost is to the county would be registration and insurance. Fuel.
And what if the motor blows up next week?
It would,
I guess it'd be the same as the sheriff's vehicle that was donated. We would have to look at it the same way.
hopefully we can get somebody to donate to repair it. But, otherwise, maybe it's just put on the back shelf and park.
Well, that was gonna be my point, is if an older ambulance, an older four vehicle ambulance, like it's right for maintenance.
Well,
Big maintenance issue. I mean, it may be free, but it may be money.
Well, the same thing with the armored vehicle we got for the sheriff. It's the exact same situation, just for a different use. And any modifications to it will be made out of donated money, so it wouldn't cost the taxpayers any money. And hopefully to be enough for, in reserve to where something like that happened. Just like the sheriff has, where he'd have enough donations in reserve to repair it.
Yeah,
We don't want it to be a burden on the county. It wouldn't be a necessary vehicle, so if something catastrophic did happen to it, it could be parked. Figure out a different way.
I wouldn't mind having a vehicle, but I do not want to pay maintenance, upkeep, and fuel for it. Out of county funds.
Who pays for fuel out of the SWAT vehicle that we have donated?
Sheriff's Department, I suppose that would be in the budget.
I think that's in the sheriff's budget.
There.
If you have it in your emergency management budget to pay it, that's fine. Otherwise, I don't want any part of it.
I'm sure
For
we're
the upkeep, just for the maintenance.
I don't think scares me major
Yeah.
medical on that. Sure.
well, like, it won't cost the taxpayers any money under those circumstances either, correct?
Right.
I think it's a good idea, I just wait.
I don't mind having a vehicle, I just don't want us to pay for the
Well,
maintenance.
I don't wanna get it late.
And I did speak to, a while back when Dave was out, he called for Dave and Dave wasn't here. The area vice president, I think was his title, or governor, but anyway, it's actually a very, very nice vehicle. It's not in bad shape. He said he wouldn't give us anything that was a pump and jump.
So I'm not even getting insulted.
And again, this is Lifeguard that provides this is the parent company of Lifeguard. So I think it's an excellent idea, especially since, like I said, it won't cost the taxpayers money.
I can see a need for it. And, it's not a must have, but would be great to have.
Well, I just, yeah.
This is the contract for it?
Yes, sir. It's not really a contract, it's just a agreement. Yeah, agreement, it kind of outlines their contribution policy.
All right, I'll make a motion that we accept the donated vehicle under the understanding that it doesn't cost us any additional taxpayer money.
I would second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I know you all want to get out of here. All in favor? Carries unanimous. And I'll sign this for you in just a second.
Thank you.
You got, the last item is item number 9, which is commissioners' comments. Let me jump in real quick and I'll tell you that new holders for these have been ordered. Matt tells me these octopus things will be going by the wayside, so.
Okay, I'm going to go out for, so this is the, because it's big buy board for a tractor with a bungee spreader on the yard. We're having to install this printed by hand. So, because every company's on buy board, so just tell you, I'm going out looking right now.
The one I got on buy board, bought the tractor, one place for buy board, and the other equipment, one place to install. Or you can buy them. Number.
Every company, got buy board, so you don't really have to go out.
We were able to go to buy a tractor through Comanche, those local to get a buy board price. And the boom board came. It's good. Good. So, lower. Sure.
That would be every year.
I'll jump in real quick. Commissioner Traylor and I are aware, Justice Keith Kavanaugh has announced his intent to retire at the end of June. So plenty of time. He did submit his formal letter. I'll put it on one of the future agendas. Like I said, we have almost 3 months to where you can formally accept it, but I just want to make sure everyone has a heads up. I've given you a copy of this one. Anything else, gentlemen?
I'm trying to think, I thought it was.
Or when do we want to meet again?
April 5.
April 5th, is that okay? Wayne, April 5th, okay with you?
That suits me, just to a T.
Suits you to a T.
Larry, okay with you? All right, so till April 5th, which will be a new meeting, we'll be adjourned.
Steve Adams. Steve, or Steve.